Hello again, and welcome back to another video about this awesome project where we're regenerating some native New Zealand bush, and we're starting from a paddock. And in this video I want to give a few quick updates. We're in the middle of summer, the plants seem to be doing fine, and I'll get into that into detail and then share some other things that have been happening as well. So first off, a quick recap. There's an introduction video that we made, and I'll link to it here and in the description. You can have a look at that and to get a general overview of what's happening. But the general plan is, and you can see it in front of me, we have a bunch of New Zealand native plants that have been planted directly into the grass in close proximity to each other. And this was done in June, I believe, June 2023, which is the winter time here in New Zealand, which is approximately half a year ago. And now we're in the middle of a dry summer, and the plants are looking fine actually. Let's have a look. And one of the most important facts that I actually forgot to mention whilst out in the field recording is the climate data that's become available, and through June, from June through to December last year, so 2023, has been the driest period on record since measurements began in Blenheim, which is about 94 years ago. There's been a total of 187 millimeters of rain over those past 6 months, and that's quite interesting because the plants have been planted in the driest period, and yet, as you can see from some of these close-ups, they seem to be doing quite all right. So we suspect, and I guess that's also one of the hypotheses that we want to test, is that the grass actually works as a protection for the plants in the case of protecting it a bit against some of the scorching sun, definitely against some of the wind, but most importantly working as a living mulch and trying to retain some of the moisture that's into the soil. As I said, we haven't had a lot of rain, or barely any rain, for the whole period that these plants have been planted, and nonetheless they are looking like they're thriving, I'd even say. That then also brings me to the second update. So we've just talked about the weather and the extreme dry season that we've had, but you can see throughout that patch over there, for example, and then if I turn to the left over here as well, a lot of the plants have been released, I guess, to a certain extent, but then if I compare it to the middle section over here, you can definitely see there's a difference. The grass is still growing tall. You can barely see the plants. They're still there, they're still alive, but there's a difference definitely between that section, for example. So I think a week or two ago we had a group of Outward Bound volunteers that came in, and basically what happened is they removed some of the grass that was growing in the sleeves, so around the plants, specifically around the plants, but then the rest just got folded down and stomped on, and that kind of gave them a nice light release. From this angle again, you can see there's a difference in between some of the spots. So there the plants have been released. This whole area over here, they're still hanging out together with the grass and seem to be doing fine. And then there's another area of releasing the plants. And I guess that's the plan with this project in general, is to make different comparisons between, okay, what works. I talked in the introduction video about how some of the plants had sleeves and some of them don't, etc., etc. It's not a scientific approach. We're not keeping any data or anything. Might look into that into the future, but for now there's different growing circumstances for the plants, and overall a lot of them are really looking like they're thriving, which is great. Right, so to wrap up and summarize this video, we've had one of the driest seasons on record and have not done any additional watering, and yet the native plants seem to be doing very well. And the second thing that happened is we've released a large chunk of them by flattening down the grass and removing some of the grass from the sleeves, and that's pretty much the update for this video. And stick around if you want to get more updates, of course, because I'll be following this as the season progresses. And the next one, I definitely want to focus a bit more on some of the plants that have been planted, which plants did we plant, and why did we plant those. But for now, I'd say thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time again.